Right, so got some light in the situation now, so you can see a bit more clearer. So this is the socket that I want to disconnect, because we don't want the power going back into the ECU and blowing the ECU. So make sure you disconnect this. I've got it separate at the moment, and I have 3 wires going to these here. Okay. Don't think you can see those there. Right. So now what we're going to do is we're going to do a continuity test. A resistance test to see, because there's little glow plugs in here. I know this for a fact, so you have to trust me on that one. And what happens with the auxiliary heater is that it, when you first get in the car and you put your heater on hot straight away, maximum hot, it initiates these. Okay, and straight away you should feel really hot air coming through. Almost like boiling hot air coming through, because all 3 of these will be activated, and it's to demist your front screen. Alright, now once it's done that, what it also does then is it then heats up the car, the whole block, which then in theory should bring up the temperature gauge to where it should be, in the operating area of half. Because that's what this video is all about, is that I can only get a quarter, and as we know, it's quite a common problem on the Jag, and it's quite a common problem on the Mondeo. So my theory is these heated up. I contacted Jag and I spoke to them and I gave them my theory, and they said I'm on the right track, but they don't share that information. So there we go. I'm pretty sure that's what it is. So I'll go through the rest of this stuff with you, and then we can kind of catch up from there. Okay, it's very tight underneath here, you have to bear with me a little bit. Right, so we've got a multimeter now, and as you can see, what I tend to do is I put it on the continuity button. If you can see the continuity button there. Okay, I don't bother go with the own one, it always gives me a problem. I tend to go for the continuity one. A, we find out if there's continuity in the glow plug, and B, it will also give us the resistance as well. Alright, you're going to have to bear with me because this is probably getting a bit wobbly. Okay, so I'm going to try and get it so you can see what I'm doing. I hope you can see what I'm doing, because I'm just going to be placing this upside down and placing it here on the thing, and hopefully you'll see what I'm doing. No, you're going to see it there, are you? Okay, let's change this. It's very awkward. I don't know how I'm going to hold this. I haven't got an assistant for you guys to see what I'm doing. When you do this, you'll realise how tight it is, and you'll see why I'm struggling here a little bit. I've got a jack as high as I can get it, but it needs to be more. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to go for the body and the end. Doesn't matter which way you do it. Okay, do you hear that? Alright, so that's showing it's got continuity, so that one's okay. And that's given us 0.01. Alright, so that's 1 ohm. So that's good. Go to the next one. Okay, we've got no continuity and we're getting nothing at all, so that suggests to me that one's kaput. And again with the next one, again there's no beep and there's no resistance whatsoever, so that would make sense that that one's gone as well. So we know this one's okay, but these two are definitely gone, which could be the reason why A, I'm not getting heat into my cabin, and B, why my gauge isn't going up. Okay, I'm just going to manoeuvre you again now. I hope that you got that bit. I'll be with you again in a minute. Okay, so the next test I'm going to do, if I can get in there, is I'm going to do a power test. Alright, now some of you might not have got a multimeter, but this is a sure way knowing that whether these glow plugs are working or not. Okay, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to be using a feed straight off my battery, alright, off the positive, 1 wire only, because this is earthed already. Okay, and I'm going to put a feed to it. Alright, so I put that to that, make it sure it's on the end. Okay, I'm going to feel it, see if that gets hot. Alright, there was no spark when I put it on, which would suggest that it's gone as well, and that's definitely not getting any heat at all. Alright, that's not heating up at all. Okay, so we'll move to the next one. It's going to get very tight in here. Again, make sure you just get the nut or the stem. Alright, we'll leave it on there again and see what we get. It's getting a bit blurry, isn't it? Hope you can see what's going on. Okay, again, no heat whatsoever, which I'm not expecting to be honest, because I've already established that there's no resistance, so there's no continuity, so then they probably could put. Okay, so we'll go for the next one. Alright, so that's got a spark. See that spark? Excellent. So that's saying that this is probably going to heat up. So my theory is right, that we had continuity, and yeah, we'll have continuity over resistance, and that is definitely starting to warm up. Okay, so that would suggest that that one's working fine. Also, there is a noise. I don't know if you can hear it. I'll bring it in closer. It sounds like a kettle is starting to boil. Don't know if you can hear that. Probably not. I can, just. Okay, so we've now established that there's definitely two that are working, one's working and two isn't. Okay, so the next step now is to take these out. Alright, and we're going to have to see what we can do about replacing them. Alright, so next step will be to clamp off the hoses and then go from there.